Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. In today's Walking Dead video, guys, I'm discussing the top 10 underrated characters in Telltale's The Walking Dead. And what I define as a underrated character is a character who is underestimated the extent of their importance or value to the story. People don't really consider it that important. They overlook them. And again, this is my opinion, so you guys are free to disagree with me in the comments. Just leave your list down below. I'd love to see what you guys have. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you smack a like and subscribe. And if you want to see any of your topics, make sure to comment them down below. Most of these topics that I'm using are viewer suggested. So, I want to thank you all so much for watching. Let's go for 1,000 likes on this video if you guys enjoy. And let's get straight into it. At my number 10 character is Alvin from The Walking Dead Season 2. Now, I definitely think he could have had a bigger role into Season 2, especially with him being a determinate character in the second episode. But I believe his role was very, very minuscule to what it could have been. Now, why do I consider him underrated is the fact of what he did. If kept alive, his importance, is crucial. Kills one of the guards, gives Clem a little bit of time. I know it doesn't really matter in all essence, but Alvin was a nice guy. He's someone that really didn't give a damn. In episode 1, if you choose the option with Alvin, gives you a juice box, gives you some of the supplies necessary to stitch Clementine's arm up. He's someone that, above all else, was a very nice person, and someone that a lot of people forget of when you look at a nice character and one of the more genuine characters in this series. And that's why he's on this list. He's at 10, but he definitely, if he had a bigger role, he could have easily been a top 5. Rest in peace, Alvin. Glad AJ turned out so well.
We'll find them, Clementine, and then we'll take them. And you. And your little boy.
Take me! You want soldiers? Fine. Take me with you.
At my number 9 spot, I have Mitch from The Walking Dead, the final season. Now, this might surprise some of you guys. A lot of people do hate Mitch because of how he acted in episode 2, but I believe Mitch is looked at as an underrated character for a couple reasons. His importance in episode 2 is undervalued. No doubt, his bomb was very crucial into getting the kids back into the school safe. And again, for how much of a dick he sounded, he was very protective of his people. You can understand Marlon dies. He's mad about it. It's understandable. But Mitch had an unfortunate death. I mean, I think we all can agree there was a lot of characters in the final season that had a short time around. Brody, Marlon, Mitch. They could have probably had a bigger role if they had gotten more time, but Mitch is definitely one of those characters I think that, had he had more time, he'd be even higher up on this list again. But his love for his friends really is what stands him out and makes him underrated, because a lot of people don't think about that with him. And that's what makes people, underestimate his importance and his value.
Going last, brother.
Tripp, you don't have to.
Just go before I throw you across.
At my number 8 spot, I picked Tripp from The Walking Dead, A New Frontier. This man was such a gem. I mean, a lot of people might forget about him when you talk about a really great character in Season 3, because we have, a couple characters in Season 3 that stand out, like Jesus, Javier, Clementine. Some people even like David, Mariana. But Tripp is no doubt one of the better characters in this season. And he's smart. He's loyal. Trust me, he knows what's up. Even, he's not like that snake called Eleanor that Backstad does. He's loyal to the end. He was not willing to let us down. And that's why, like I said, season 3 would have been a better season, I think Tripp would have been a better character, and we would have had a better relationship with him. I still think Tripp is a very underrated character because of those aspects I just talked about, and his death was just so, damn it, bro. It's like, no, either death is just, pisses me off, man. So I wish he could have been around longer, but that's my number 8. Let's move on.
Ain't much further. Anyone teach you how to shoot? By that I mean taught proper. Any idiot with a finger can shoot.
My friend Lee taught me.
That's good.
At my number 7 spot, I picked Pete from The Walking Dead Season 2. Now, he did not have a lot of time in Season 2. Probably out of this entire list, he probably had the shortest amount of time of any of the characters. But I loved Pete, and I think y'all agree, Pete is overlooked. No doubt. He's underrated as heck, in my opinion. He really cares about Nick, despite his mistakes that he made in Episode 1. He cares about everyone. He's kind of like one of the main, irons in that group with Luke, Carlos, and Pete. Those are probably the 3 main, I would say, people that keep that group up. And, Pete's, in my opinion, like the veteran. The oldest guy. He's, handling situations. Almost, in essence, the leader. One of the leaders. And, Carver even talked about Pete in Episode 2 when talking to Clementine. Pete would have been such a nice character to have a lot longer. I would have preferred him over Nick, but that's okay. It's okay. Even especially in Episode 2, talking about his, final moments, talking about how he, regrets everything that happened with Nick and all that, and how he, thought he could have been better and all that, but I wish we could add more time with him. Definitely, though, people underestimate his kindness that he showed, and definitely, he's a character that we should not forget. At my number 6 spot, I picked Doug from The Walking Dead Season 1. And you could either put Carly or Doug, but I consider Carly one of my favorite characters. So, Doug's underrated. A lot of people, even when you look at the choice, it tends to almost be 50-50 between Carly and Doug. But a lot of people forget about Doug and, what a sweet character he was. He was kind of quiet, but his genius, kindness, he's one of the kinder characters also, just like Alvin. And like I said, he stood up for Ben if Lily goes, bananas on him. And you see potentially him getting shot in the head there, which is just an unfortunate thing. But he's selfless. He cared. He was a nice character, and I wish more people would give him respect, because everyone, loves Carly, I know that, but a lot of people do forget about Doug and what he brought to the story if he kept him alive at the end of Episode 1, especially his Episode 2 heroics and all that. Definitely, we need to put Doug on this list.
In a little while, you can join them as they pass through the trees. The noise from the boat will draw them toward the water.
Then we can get on board and save our friends.
Your friends are different. Open-minded. Accepting.
At my number 5 spot, I picked James from The Walking Dead, the final season. And when people mention best characters in the final season, a lot of people will forget about James because of what happened in Episode 4, his little anger outburst he had. But we look at what his philosophies were, the no violence aspects, helping us save everybody on the boat, meeting him in Episode 2, helping AJ out. This man was underrated as heck, in my opinion, and someone that definitely could have had a bigger role in Episode 4 if Episode 4 could have been longer, which I think a lot of people do complain about because Episode 4 tended to be short. But I think when you look back at how Episode 4 was, I think the best ending with James was the Episode 3 ending, where basically AJ doesn't go aggro on Lily, and unfortunately he goes in peace, he becomes a walker and all that. It's kind of sad to see that, but it's kind of James' philosophy. He didn't want to kill walkers. He didn't want to, if he's like, I gotta become a walker, I gotta become a walker. But usually when you think about the Whisperers, you see the TV series, you see they're killing heartless murders. And James overcame that side of him and became a very nice character and someone that definitely is overlooked. But definitely, he could easily have been a top 2 if we had gotten some major scene with him in episode 4. That's okay, though. On to number 4. At my number 4 spot, I picked Molly from The Walking Dead Season 1. This girl was freaking amazing. I don't care what anyone says. Hilda, her little hatchet, she's got, a cover on. She was badass. And someone, again, overlooked in Season 1. Not really mentioned that much when you talk about a good Season 1 character, because she didn't have a lot of time. She was only in one episode. And, either, say goodbye to her, she leaves off, or potentially she gets shot and you never see her again. You don't know if she lived or died. I would have loved to have seen Molly back in the story, but honestly, she did care about Clementine, the child aspect of Crawford and all that, about keeping Clementine alive. She helped us out with the boat and all that in episode 4 in Crawford. And despite, the misdeeds that we could have seen on the tape, I think she's definitely a character that deserved more credit than what she's been given. Let's move on to number 3.
I don't know much about you folks, but I can tell you as sure as the sun's gonna come up tomorrow, y'all keep going on like this, and that girl ain't gonna make it.
At my number 3 spot, I picked Chuck from The Walking Dead Season 1. Chuck was not here for a long time either, died in episode 4, but the lessons he had taught Lee about, raising Clementine, cut the hair, plan a map with her, teach her how to shoot a gun, these were the most crucial lessons, I think, in the entire series. Other than maybe Clementine's lessons to AJ or Lee's lessons to Clementine, Chuck was such a nice-hearted soul, gave candy to the children, talked about tips they needed to survive. And again, Clementine's in danger, puts himself, basically, his life on the line to save her when Ben ran away. Just a selfless, kind-hearted man that, like all these characters, deserved better. And again, when you talk about a really great, selfless character, a lot of people will forget about him. He's very underrated. Very underappreciated by a lot of people. A lot of people don't think about him that much. And even I, tend to forget about him too. But this lesson, this entire conversation with Lee is why I base his number 3 ranking, why he's even on this list. Just this was such a powerful moment in the series, in my opinion.
Kyle! What's holding you back, Marlon? Cowardice, guilt, or both?
At my number 2 spot, I picked Marlon from The Walking Dead, the final season. Another character that had so much potential that was cut dry. This is why I believe he needs a DLC or some kind of expansion onto his story. I know he's dead, but having a prequel with him would be amazing. Marlon is such an interesting character, in my opinion. And this scene in episode 1, the entire argument between Clementine, Marlon, and the rest of the kids, such a powerful moment. And having him get shot by AJ was like, oh man, dude, I would have loved to have seen what they could have done with his character had they kept him alive. But I thought, there was a double side to him. And usually when you think of an underrated character, you like twists in that. You like someone that, he was secretly on the low, effing the school up, trading them to the Raiders in exchange for safety so they don't come knocking like, hey, we want all your kids to fight in our dang war. But Marlon, really, the voice actor, Ray Chase, great job. He immersed himself in the character, and I feel like a connection to him. Marlon's really a character that, a lot of people are going to underrate, though, because he died so fast, and he wasn't, it was only in one episode. But when a lot of people talk about an underrated character, yes, you guys do agree with me. Marlon is definitely one of those. Let's move on to our final spot. At my number 1 spot, I picked Krista from The Walking Dead Season 1. Krista's importance to Clementine should not be overlooked. They had a 16-month time skip together, and really, it was an important factor into Clementine's maturity. Unfortunately, she's gone in the first 5 minutes. We're never going to really know if Krista ever died or not. That's going to be the big mystery if they ever do another Walking Dead game. Will we ever see Krista again? And I would have loved to have known what happened during that 16-month time skip, what Krista taught Clementine, what happened to her baby, all these lessons that kind of transpired with Krista. And really, selflessness, kindness, maturity, looking out for people around her. She's underrated. She's not looked at, again, as one of the best characters to some people. Some people forget about her. And there's, in my opinion, she could easily be a top 5, top 10 character in the series. It just depends on who's looking at it and what things are we exactly looking at. But that's my top 10 most underrated characters in the Walking Dead Telltale series. Now I'm going to put up some disclaimer characters that I didn't mention in this video that you guys may want to hear. So some other characters I consider as underrated, some people may not like, underappreciate. There's people like, for example, let's go into season 1. I'd say another character, Ben. Definitely. Duck. Season 2, we probably have a character like Jane. To some, yeah, could be underrated. Season 3, David, potentially, even Gabe. Some people may like them. And in the final season, I'd say, a lot of people do end up hating Violet. I think she's a very underrated character. Brody as well. I mean, even a character such as Tennessee. But that's been my list, guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you smack a like, hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed, and we'll catch y'all for the next Walking Dead Top 10. We're almost at September. Last day of July here when I'm recording this. When this is uploaded is August. We're almost there, everybody. Get ready for the 5th edition. Peace.
If I had a dime for the days I've spent just trying to unwind, sitting on the steps, I'd buy a star in your name.